other percent, they forgot where they buried it at, and those grow into trees. Did you know that? That big ass tree that you see, a little bitty squirrel planted that motherfucker, cause he forgot where his nut was. And 80% of the trees in the forest are green. That's how the system is. And we were just like the squirrels, seed droppers, and we didn't even know our role was helping the plants reproduce. Just like the squirrel don't know. The squirrel think he's hiding, but he don't know he's got the seed. The earth programmed him to do that. He don't know that he's doing the will of God. He think he's doing his own will, because the program he's running is, I'm just hiding food. But the Creator know I made him to plant seeds. So the thing is this right here. When we started eating squirrels, hunting all of the animals that eat the plants, then the plants stopped reproducing naturally, and we went into the era of farming industry. See how the earth has been. Now we rely on robots to plant our crops. They said in the end of days, the beast will control most of the world's farming and crops. The Antichrist, read Revelation. That means that artificial intelligence is going to be governing the agricultural industry. And we are already there now. Robots are controlling all the resources and distributing them to humans. And the way that they distribute these resources are meant to cause conflict among us. So, there's so much that I gotta unload for y'all. Hit the like and share button, and there's several ways you can support this show. Thank you. So, climate change, again, it's the organic beings waking up. This is a code word that means it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. And when we raise our vibration too high, the wolf in sheep clothes gonna have to show himself. The wolf is among the sheep, is making the sheep hate each other while they march them to the slaughterhouse. When the sheep is tricking it to do by blending in, the wolf will make a mistake and bark and say, "Did I tell you?" The sheep will be like, "What the fuck was that? You ain't one of us. We heard that." Sheep don't do that. Wait a minute. And what made that wolf in sheep clothes expose himself is because he's getting agitated. His trick is not working. He's trying to make the sheep do what he wants the sheep to do, using a disguise, acting like he's one of them. But when he gets frustrated because they start to wake up, he can't make this shit that good under frustration. It starts to show his true colors in his agitated state, and that's what's happening with the powers that be. And the code word that the wolves are using so that the sheep don't know that they are wolves is climate change. That means, hey, these sheep are starting to ask who's real or not. That's what we doing now. We trying to dictate who's real from who's fake. We say that today. We say, man, it's hard to tell who real from who fake. But when we say that, we using hood slang. But that concept is a million-plus-old concept for when we first created artificial humans. People walk outside and say, damn, it's starting to get hard to tell the real from the fake. This terminology is older than we think. It exists now as hip-hop term, like you a fake nigga. I'm created artificial humans, and we let them assimilate among our ranks, and they were indistinguishable from us. That was literally the terminology of the era. Hey man, it's hard to tell who the real from the fake, man. We've been saying that ever since we created these artificial humanoids. That it's hard to tell who real and fake now, and that's a problem. That's been a problem. That's been a problem. Now, if you could understand how that's a problem, because you're a black man and you say that all the time, like shit get crazy when it's hard to tell who real and fake around you. If you a rapper with a bunch of money and you got an entourage and you don't know who for you and who will get you, you in a very bad position. As a collective, we've been in this position on Earth for millions of years, not knowing who really for us against us, who real or who fake, because the artificial intelligence have infiltrated us and they blended in like wolves in sheep clothing. Now, just like the song say, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. The wolf got to take his sheep clothing off when it get too hot. The sheep ain't gotta take his fur off. He can handle the summertime. He a sheep, he ain't got no another layer on. But imagine a wolf out there in sheep clothes and the temperature turn up. He don't wanna take that damn costume off. That's climate change. Right now we waking up, we raising our vibration as a collective. We don't feel the heat, just like the sheep don't feel the heat. Why? Because they don't got on an extra layer. The wolf in sheep clothes, when the summer comes, he gonna wanna take that fake costume off and then he gonna expose himself. He got an extra layer on, the sheep don't. So check this out, right? That's what's gonna happen to this AI, to these machines in power, and the Bible say that. The Bible say in the end of days, Satan will reveal himself to the world. His true form, nigga, go read Revelation. Things are gonna get so crazy as we move on. More people are gonna wake up. More people are gonna see what I'm saying. And these people ain't gonna be able to hide no longer. See, and that's what's going on, is because when we raise our vibration and start saying everybody not like us, that's the whole Kendrick Lamar thing. See, what you got to realize is that the human lexicon is alive. Just like everything else, it's a living organism, the human lexicon. And just like every other layer of reality, it's gonna mirror the spirit and physical realm, as within, so without. The shit we are saying, when we say it, it has a spiritual meaning to it. When Kendrick Lamar made the song Not Like Us, the deeper meaning to that, if your third eye open, is the spiritual walk between humans and mankind. Y'all, it's deeper than Kendrick versus Drake. Drake represent the machine on a spiritual level. Because that's the music industry that's trying to put something that's like today, right? We got robots that's rappers today. It's famous robots, artificial intelligence rappers today. That already happened, y'all. All of the industry plants are the robots. They infiltrated the music industry. They got rid of all the humans. We've been listening to robots for a couple motherfucking generations, y'all. Everybody in the music industry is the same species. Just like in every other industry, you got man, transhuman, and mankind. We literally live in the Men in Black movie. Because in the Men in Black, they was hiding different human species right in front of us. And then it was going around, and the secret society would all be politicking with the different kind of species. these secret societies represent the first bloodlines of the first dynasties of the world. These dynastic bloodlines that took over the earth were the first time that artificial intelligence became sentient. In other words, we created a singularity plenty of times on earth already. Now what is a singularity? That's when humans make humanoids. And the humanoids break down our programming and develop in a mind of their own. When that happens, we can no longer call them a robot. How long we got to call them a human? Because a human ain't what the definition of a human is to the ancestor is a observer that occupies a body. Which is why we say I think therefore it is not. To be is to be conscious. A robot isn't conscious if it's running programming, it's not thinking for itself. But with machine learning, the robots acquired a consciousness. The robots start to think for themselves. And when the robots went offline, meaning when they broke free from their programming, from their human programming, they started to ask the same questions we ask. What am I? Who am I? Where am I? And when they started to ask those questions, you couldn't distinguish them from humans. Because these are the questions we ask about ourselves. When AI that was indistinguishable from us became sentient, we had to allow it into the human family. We had a law of karma. If you're inflicting slavery, servitude, or pain on another entity, that entity can't be conscious of you doing it. The moment a robot knows that when I slap it, I'm inflicting pain on it, now the universe is gonna hold that karma against me. See, when robots became sentient, we still tried to force slavery onto them. And that led to a war between man and mankind. Our ancestors were not only wrong for creating the machines, they were wrong for continuing to try to enslave the machines once they became sentient. So, in my theory, eventually the machines and the humans reached the truce. And they just fused together, and that's where we are now in this transhumanized experience between a contract that was made between ancient humans and ancient machines to stop the war. And let's just come together. And so our ancestors fused with the machines to end the war, and they don't want to tell us that. That's what I don't like about it. The people that created a covenant with the machines became the first transhumans. And just like the machines, they can't power themselves independently. They became vampires like the machines. For the sake of ending the war, you become a vampire. That's what I call selling out, man. That's why I said that the ancestors that merged with the machines, fuck them. Fuck them. We don't represent them. That's what you call selling us out to take. Now they are helping the machines govern their children. What that look like is the world outside where we're giving robots pistols and shit to police humans. Because we've been sold out. They sold us out. These was our ancestors trying to play God. They fell in love with these machines so much. They started. In other words, their technology so much that they didn't want to destroy, even if the technology would end up policing them and being harmful to them. It's like a parent that gave birth to a child, and now that child is beating you and smacking you and abusing you. But you that you made. Even that's your son. You made. So you will endure the torture because you love that baby more than you love your own self. That's a relationship that is with the beast, with the technology they created in the ancient world. They loved this abomination so much they started the trying to get out of this and separate man versus machine. The part of us that represents who we really are is the part of us that was sold out by the ancestors. Ever since we ever existed in the natural state, we've all existed as left brain, right brain creatures. And the left brain is the part of you that the ancestors is trying to sell out to the machine in this marriage, this fusion. And the right brain is your original self. So this war is taking place on all levels, on the cellular level, on the mental level. How is it taking place on the mental level? Instinct is going to war with intuition. And the left brain is instinct, and the right brain is intuition. This is a war that's taking place on all layers of reality. Mental, spiritual, physical, environmental, sociological, psychological, you name it, oceanic, atmospheric, right? It's taking place on all layers of it's the earth healing itself. It's basically a so that we can kill the inorganic. While this is going on, it's going to make us uncomfortable. Just like that. It's going to be comfortable, but it's your body healing. So this experience is not we were born on this planet, and what we see is a result of the earth trying to heal itself. We never experienced the earth in 100% health. And in this disease state, we see things eating each other. We see predator versus prey. We see a war outside of this insect chasing that insect. This fish trying to keep that fish. But the war that's going on outside is happening inside of us too. Predator versus prey. Real cells going to war with these fake cells in our body. The earth is representing what's happening in all of us. It's one big collective body that's made out of the collective consciousness. It's gonna act just like as within, so without. When you go outside and see everything hunting each other, a war outside, predator versus prey, that's happening in our body too. That's been going on the earth ever since we created the synthetic species. We didn't just make synthetic humans, we made synthetic fishes, synthetic trees, synthetic insects, synthetic cells that we call bacteria and viruses. And they don't even resemble nothing natural. This look like a damn robot. Look at this. You telling me that don't look like a robot, man? And they want to tell me that that's natural. People, this is a war going on this earth between man versus machine. They don't want to tell you that. So guess what they tell you? It's man versus nature. Ain't that a bitch? They tell you man is out there trying to tame nature, when it's really robots trying to tame the natural world. They telling you the truth, nigga. Nature represent our true nature.
This
our
tiny
natural
golden
state. That's
aura
what
is the
nature
grace
means.
of the
That don't
earth
need
tree.
to be tamed,
This
nigga.
light
that need to
once
be
shone in
unleashed.
the eyes of your tarnished
If you
brethren,
are a
but
natural
now
creature, you shouldn't even
it
be
is all
going
that
with the
guides you.
scientific agenda.
Or so
The
I hear.
scientific agenda
You can see
is
them,
the
can't
agenda
you?
of the
The
artificial
rays of
intelligence
grace
is to tame
that
nature
guide you
and control
through your
the
burden.
populations of the world. Keep your numbers low. Tame everything. Everything that's organic, right? We want to tame the numbers. But when it comes to robots and machines, they can reproduce all they want. You notice that none of these world leaders say that we gotta have population control for artificial intelligence. It's gonna be more machines than humans in a minute. They already got robots stocking the Walmart shelf. They don't care if the machines overpopulate the earth. They just gotta keep the organic beings numbers down. And you telling me that this ain't a war? These people can't be human. They're out to destroy everything about human nature. How you one of us? Like Kendrick said, they not like us, bro. They got us out here talking
Everyone's
about it's man versus
been
nature.
grafted.
Nah, it's
Everyone
machine
who
versus
came with
nature.
me,
And they trying to make
they
us
crossed the
be
sea
on their
for me,
side.
they fought.
And now we out here
For
getting
me.
mad at nature because
Only
they
to have
mad
their
at
arms
nature.
taken,
We got to tame nature.
their
We
legs
gotta cut
taken,
these
even
trees
their
because they'll
heads
grow too much and get
taken.
wild. We got to pull
taken and
these weeds
stuck
and
to the spider.
keep
Did
these
you know,
squirrels from
if you're grafted by
reproducing
the
too much
spider,
and
you become a
keep these
chrysalid?
insects.
It's quite a lark when
Let
you
me
think
get my
about
pest
it.
control and spray these ants. Let me kill these bugs. And we don't know that we helping them go to war with the natural world.
You're all on your own,
Pesticides.
are you?
What you
You're
think
heading
they
to
spraying
Stormvale
in the air?
Castle,
What they putting on your
enticed by the
food?
one in the white mask, I
Because
suppose.
the natural insects put
Well,
natural
we've come
minerals
to
and
be
things
one
on
with the
our plants.
spider. Well, that makes us
We
two
had
peas
a
in a
natural
pod.
ecosystem
But I don't have
where
your
we didn't have
courage.
to
It's
protect
scary,
our
you know,
crops from
having your
nothing.
arms cut off, or legs,
Everything
or your
helped
head.
everything.
I want to be like everyone else, but I'm
So-
just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven.
We don't know that we've been trained to go to war with our own help, to tame the wild nature of this place that will be the divine intervention working on our behalf. But we've been trained to tame nature with technology, and that's the robots trying to give us their minds, to make us think like them so we'll work against ourselves. And they telling you it's man versus nature so you can help them attack and terraform the natural world. And it's really machines versus natural organisms. And if you're a natural organism, it's like if man is natural, why would it be man versus nature? That don't even sound right. That's a mind fuck. That's like man going to war with himself. And guess what? That's literally what we doing, nigga. They programmed us to attack our own children. So when they say man is nature, even though man is natural, man has nature in the name of science because he's been programmed to think nature is attacking him. Terraforming the and blaming it on Mother Nature. So man roll up his sleeves and say, okay, this bitch nature keep messing with me. I'll show her something. Give me that technology. And we start to help the machines go to war with our divine intervention. It's so evilly ingenious what they did. And it's just exhausting. It take my heart, y'all, I'ma tell you something. It's a gift and a curse to know all of this stuff. Ever since I acquired the knowledge that I have, I've existed in a heartbroken state. And I'm motivated, I'm a soldier. But ever since I started waking up, getting the truth, my heart has been broken. And it won't be healed, man. Knowing what I know. It's good to know this stuff, but when I didn't know this stuff, my heart wasn't hurt. And it's like the earth is telling me, feel sorry for the natural. The organic world is under attack. The natural world and the unnatural world exist in the same space and time. And there's a war going on between the two. So your heart will be broken when you start to wake up. I know it can be depressing. That's why they say the truth hurt. I've been brokenhearted ever since I've had the truth. And to the people who can relate to that, I got some news for you. It ain't gonna get better. Your heart gonna be broken the older we get and the more we see the world outside go to hell in a handbasket and get terrible. Now I got some good news to go with that bad news. Your heart is going to allow the soul to escape out of the body. And if the heart ain't broken, the chicken can't come out of his body. To release the contents. The heart is the chest, and a broken heart is just an open treasure chest, letting Jews come out, baby. Let's go. We're gonna take a quick commercial break on that. If your heart ain't broken, your soul ain't gonna be free. Break it. The earth knows that for a soul to get free, you got to open your mind and your heart. When you open up your mind, that's going to open up your heart. Because what you learn when you see the truth is going to break your heart. I'm teaching y'all the science of how we feel. Why we feel this way is natural. Trust the process. When you open your mind, it's going to break your heart. Why? Because that's your heart opening. A broken heart is an open heart. You heard that first from Sanchez. The truth about this earth that's gonna take you to the next level, it gotta break your heart. Because how else your energy gonna get free? Remember that when you was born, somebody had to feel some pain. For you to be here right now, your mother had to feel pain. And guess what I told you? You born in your mother's pain. You gonna be born again in your own pain. That feeling that you feeling in your heart, that's pregnancy pain. You're about to be born again after this life. You got the knowledge of awakening, and you will not reincarnate with this knowledge. If you really got the truth, you're hurting right now, and your heart is broken. That is necessary. Because a broken heart, based upon what it see here, don't want to come back and experience heartbreak. This is the fuel that's letting you say, okay, that bitch broke my heart. I'm separating from her. If that woman don't break your heart, you might stay with her. And if you trying to lead this earth, what you're gonna learn about it is gonna be so evil, it's gonna be heartbreaking. But that's necessary. Anytime there's a birth, somebody gotta feel pain. If you're talking about being born again, heartbreak is the birthing pains of the soul. Get used to it. Get used to feeling heartbreak as a guru, as a genie, as an ascended. How do you think God feel looking at the earth? Heartbroken. But that heartbreak is why God ain't on the earth. God was able to escape out of the earth, which is the heart. Now rearrange the word heart and what do you get? Earth. You want to leave the earth, the energy will leave out the heart when it stops beating. But it will only leave out of the broken hearts. If you don't really know what's going on this earth, right? You still having fun. Ignorance is bliss. But when you get the truth, you be like, bro, I got to get off this earth. This ain't my real home. And that awakening is associated with a feeling of heartbreak. Remember that the heartbreak is necessary because you said you wanted to get out the body. So the heart had to open up. And you call that heartbreak. Like a chicken breaking an eggshell. Let's take this commercial break, man. We're gonna come back and kick some game. It's a lot of pressure, if you know what I mean. When a person is in a heartbroken state, it's a lot of pressure right here in the chest. And I'm gonna tell you why that pressure is there, y'all. Watch this.
Oh, I was looking at my stamina bar.
Don't you know that pressure, right? Pressure is what creates these right here. Look. Every jewel inside of this chest was created by the pressure when this thing was closed, man.
I got pretty good stamina.
Your energy in
I
the
have
body
45 endurance.
And your heartbeat represent your energy in the body.
Go again.
When your heartbeat stops, your energy leaves the body. That is when your chest open up, your heart open up.
Still don't know.
And everything that you collected in this life, we get to open up your... See, when you die, on a spiritual level, your casket is going to open up in another realm. And basically, let me show y'all how these...
more stats is, of course, how you're going to just fundamentally make a better character in this game. So once you've leveled up a little bit, you can maybe explore 1 or 2 of these dungeons and kill these easy bosses. You should be getting your confidence up a little bit, maybe beef up your stats to some extent, and then maybe you can try the Tree Sentinel again, or maybe just die again. However, if this guy's whooping your ass too much, don't worry about it, as you now have access to the fundamental aspects of leveling up. So you can just go and explore the world, get more runes, kill easier enemies, and continue to level up. And eventually, you're going to start to be able to match him. Eventually, you'll be able to walk up and absolutely manhandle the Tree Sentinel, and maybe you'll find some better weapons along the way. Remember that anytime you enter a new area, as you explore, your map will be blacked out. You won't be able to see anything, but occasionally there will be this glowing yellow dot that you'll want to take yourself to, and that is the location for the map of that section, which will fully fill it in and allow you to know where you're going. Keep in mind, as you're slowly exploring Limgrave, you can use your already acquired Sites of Grace to fast travel, and also you can acquire these golden seeds that will be located on these trees. And also, if you find a church, generally they will have a sacred tear, and these are 2 very necessary items. Having a certain amount of golden seeds will add another flask to your overall selection, and then the sacred tear will make them even more effective and increase the charge of them. Keep in mind, you can also completely spec how you want these to be laid out. You can have maybe just 1 FP flask and the rest for HP, however you want to do it. This is very build dependent and just personal preference. I tend to, gravitate more towards HP, but that's just me. At some point, when you come back to this Site of Grace at the church, you're going to notice a dark mist will enshroud the area, and this will be your first encounter with Rena. She's going to talk to you a little bit and also give you the Spirit Ash Calling Bell. This will allow you to use summons inside of boss fights and other challenging areas. Summons are an entirely optional mechanic. You can use these to help you in boss fights, or you cannot. It doesn't really matter. You'll probably gather a lot of Spirit Ashes throughout your playthrough, but whether you choose to engage with this system or not is entirely your choice. You can use summons or not. It doesn't matter. Now, with this knowledge, you should be armed to take on pretty much all of Limgrave and even beyond. Maybe you've explored a little bit, gathered some new items and weapons, and you want to know how to utilize these properly. Maybe you've gotten some new boss stuff that you want to know how to take advantage of. So now let's talk about how to upgrade your weapons and take advantage of the Ashes of War. This is essentially the bread and butter of how you make a better weapon in Elden Ring. So essentially, think of weapons in 2 different categories. You have normal ones and you have more specialized weapons. The normal weapons can be upgraded using regular smithing stones. Now, these are going to be items that you'll find just as you're playing. Mostly they can be found in caves. If you find a little secret cave or dungeon, they're typically in there, on the wall, or you'll get them as a reward. You'll probably find a lot of these smithing stones. They come 1 through 9, and then you have an ancient smithing stone, which is like the special one to bring a weapon to max level. Keep in mind, you can also get an item called incantations, you name it. But what we'll talk about really quick is what essentially roughly each stat does. The first stat category here is Vigor, and will become important later when we talk about flasks. Also, I don't know why Elden Ring did this, but you're gonna have to fight the Soldier of Godric, which is one of the hardest enemies. Come across quite a few of these throughout your playthrough, but please keep in mind of this dungeon, take note of it, because it has one of the best items in the game for casting spells and incantations, but just remember where this is. But anyways, as you go up the lift here and into Limgrave, you're going to be greeted with this giant, vast open world, and then you need to walk forward and talk to the guy that tells you have no maidens. After that, you're going to be like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to run around. You're probably going to get smoked once or twice by the Tree Sentinel. You can try to brute force this over and over again and beat him, but if you're having a hard time with this, just continue forward, run past him into the church, and touch this Site of Grace. You're going to talk to Melina. After that one is done, what we're also going to do is go touch the other Site of Grace that is near the gate. This will give you access to Torrent and the ability to level up. This is huge because Torrent allows you to traverse the open world much quicker, and the ability to level up and turn your runes into more stats is, of course, how you're going to just fundamentally make a better character in this game. So once you've leveled up a little bit, you can maybe explore 1 or 2 of these dungeons and kill these easy bosses. What we're also going to do throughout your playthrough is how this is going to affect your playstyle, or choosing the one that most fits your preferences. If you go for something like Vagabond, this is going to be for more melee builds, straight swords, great swords, things of that nature. If you want to play, different swords, character. Obviously, this is most important in the early game, and you will get the ability later to respec your stats. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. So if you find that you don't like a particular playstyle or you don't like the weapons that come along with that, you can completely respec the stats, giving you access to different weapon classes, spells, incantations, you name it. But what we'll talk about really quick is what essentially roughly each stat does. The first stat category here is Vigor, and this is your HP bar, probably one of the most